Hey everyone, so this is a review on American Horror Story Roanoke, episode 6, called Chapter 6. And basically what this episode's about is that after the wrap of the television show My Roanoke Nightmare, the producers and stuff decide to create a new thing called Return to Roanoke, where they're going to have all the actors who played all the characters in the past show come back to the house, as well as the real-life Shelby, Matt, and Lee are all going to return to the house and have to deal with it while the blood moon's going on. And this was such a great episode and took a really interesting plot that I kind of enjoy and can't wait to see it play out. And it just did a really good job at keeping things kind of consistent, despite the fact that to some degrees they're like starting with a whole new plot. But just the way that they decided to show it and all this stuff was really great and really well done. And I kind of knew, and I even said it in the last review of episode 5, that to be able to make this consistent, they'd have to go back to the house. But the way that they decided to do it with them going back to the house, I didn't think of myself, but I absolutely love the idea, like I've been saying. And then the one point that was kind of very, very briefly brought up in this episode with a black screen, and with that black screen the fact was brought up that during this week of the blood moon, only one person ends up surviving the night and all the rest are killed. And with that, I think it's either going to be Audrey, I think her name was, which was the actor who played Shelby, or maybe it's going to actually go where even the people that are like in the trailer watching all that's what's going on and kind of making up the stuff as they go to try and add up the fear factor themselves. I think it's going to be Sydney. So all the actual like actors and real people all end up dead, and only the producer of Sydney ends up alive, and then he's kind of driven crazy or something like that. So that's my belief, that the one person who's going to survive is either going to be Audrey or Sydney. And then I really, really love the scene where like all the actors who played the real people were all like in the kitchen talking together. And they brought up like the comment of, oh, these hauntings must not actually be fully real or as bad as they said, for the fact that the real Shelby, Matt, and Lee decided to come back to the house. So it must not be as bad as they were saying. But then in that scene, having the real Matt sort of walk into the room and ask them the question of, while they were filming, what time of season was it? And they said summer, but before the blood moon. And with that, Matt made the sort of calm remark of, well, you guys never experienced the blood moon, so you don't know what's really going on. And just the way he said that so calmly just amazed me and makes me super excited to see what's all gonna happen. And then I really like the fact that was brought up in this episode that a lot of the actors that they didn't decide to bring back to the house all sort of were driven crazy by playing these characters, especially the butcher they kind of showcased. And I love that because it's just going to add like this next factor to all like the actual hauntings, is that maybe some of the actors are also going to come back to pretend to be hauntings, and just adding this even more factor of potential people that could kill off all these others and all this stuff. I just love, and I can't wait to see how that might eventually play out. And then the sort of like secondary plot that was thrown in to the reason why Sydney wanted to make this extra show of Return to Roanoke, because he eventually wants to add up like all these factors and stress to potentially make it so that Lee is like fully finally admitting that she did kill her husband, or doing something where Lee eventually has to kill someone again. I find a little weird, but I kind of want to see if that eventually is going to come true or not. Which I don't think it is, but still I want to see it kind of play out where maybe something happens with Lee, or maybe even the actor who played Lee. Because she even made comment that she was kind of driven crazy from trying to be in Lee's head so much while trying to play her, that I think it might actually be Lee's actor person that's going to end up eventually killing someone or something instead of the real Lee. And just overall, I can't wait to see how everything's going to play out, and I just really enjoyed this episode. So yeah, that's my review of American Horror Story Roanoke. episode 6 called Chapter 6. So, yeah.